Good morning, everyone. Kevin O'Brien here with Veteran Recruiting, Talking Jobs, coming to you today to talk about another great company, a little bit different than the ones we've been featuring that I have remote job opportunities. Um, this company is a household brand, Verizon. And one of the things that we wanted to talk about today with Verizon, it's not necessarily the remote jobs that they have available. It's more the fact that most of their employees, like many companies, are working remotely right now. So almost every job or every function likely has a remote component to it. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up today is this is a good opportunity, even if it's not with Verizon, just any company, to take a look at them because you're likely going to be able to work from home. So if that's a must have for you right now, where some companies traditionally wouldn't allow that, most companies will, at least during the pandemic. So Verizon's a great organization. They've got about, from what I can see, about 1,250 jobs available in the US, technology, sales, data science. Take a look here real quick. Bear with me. Bear with me. Marketing, consulting, finance, systems and data security, strategy, sales, supply chain. Got a great military recruitment team, students for internships, full-time positions for students. So a very broad range of jobs. They've got a massive footprint, as we all know. So I definitely encourage you all to take a look at what they have to offer. I will put the link to all of their jobs here in the stream, and I'll also post it on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if it does that directly or not. The other thing I wanted to touch on today was what you guys are doing when you're applying. I get approached all the time when job seekers will say to me, like as recent as today, they'll just send me a resume and say, what do you have for me? You're really not putting yourself in a good light if that's your approach. And I think a lot of you don't quite understand how recruitment works. So I wanted to touch on that here a little bit today. The first thing I'd like to talk about is what recruiters actually do. And for some of you, this is going to be a no shit moment. Of course, we know what they do. Josh, I do know you can reach in a military recruiting office. I'll post some information here when I'm done. So thanks for that question. But what recruiters do is a lot of times folks think it's a job finding service, especially when they reach out to me. Let's say it's a veteran. They'll tell me, I'm looking for a treasurer position in Pittsburgh. I don't know many recruitment firms or recruiters that work in that capacity. Typically what happens is if they work in-house, meaning they're recruiting for their own company, they have requisitions or jobs that they're tasked with finding candidates for. And they're going to source that talent based on the job, the location, the requirements, the profile, whatever is set forth in that ideal candidate profile. They're not there for you to send them the resume and then for them to go out and find you a job. Now, when we're talking about external recruiters, it's even more stringent than that. If I'm not looking for what you're selling, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do for you. I can't spend my day finding you a job if I don't have a client that's asking me to find someone of your skill set. And a lot of recruiters fall down here. They just think, well, I'll amass as many resumes as I can. And when I do have something, I'll reach out to you. I don't operate that way. My team doesn't operate that way. We meet with our clients and then we find out what they're looking for and we go about sourcing that talent specifically. So I think it's important for a lot of you out there to understand when you reach out to a recruiter and you tell them what you're looking for, if they tell you, sorry, I can't help you, it's not that they don't want to help you. They'd love for you to be a perfect fit for one of the jobs or requisitions that they're trying to fill. If they don't have something that matches that, they're not going to spend their day finding it for you. The other piece of that I want to touch on is when you do reach out, if you're a job seeker and you're reaching out to recruiters, and I'm just going to be blunt here, don't expect them to do the work for you. You're not making yourself come across as a good candidate, and you're not likely going to get the kind of response you're hoping for. And what do I mean by that? So you reach out and you tell them what you're looking for, or you're very vague in what you're looking for. Like, do you have anything in Dallas? And they may send you jobs to McDonald's because you haven't told them what you're looking for, and then you might get ticked off. So when you do reach out to recruiters, or even people when you're networking, be specific in your ask and tell them why you're worth a look. So if you reach out to me, for example, and you say, I had someone today that told me they wanted a data analytics position in San Antonio, and I sent them a link to a position that I found, even though I wasn't working that requisition. But it'd be a lot better if it was approached from, I'm looking for a sales representative position in Dallas. I've got 5 years experience. I've worked with one of your competitors, or I've worked in this capacity. Here's a few bullet points on my achievements. I'd love it if we could have a chat about my qualifications and if you potentially have something that might be a fit for me. That gives me something to work with. When it's just a blank ask, what you're essentially saying is, Kevin, go to my profile, see what I've done in the past, see what you have available, connect the dots, and then contact me, as if I worked for you at that point. So, again, some of you may take offense to this approach here and the bluntness in my messaging, but it's going to serve you best if you put your best foot forward and do a little bit of homework before you reach out. The other thing is this, and I'll close with this. The application. Far too many job seekers think they've done their job when they go to a company website, or maybe they go to a job board and they apply and sit back and say, oh, now it's up to them to contact me. You have to ask yourself, what are you doing to stand out? And I'll give you an example. Part of my job is I have to find new companies to work with that want to utilize our services. So when I reach out to a company, I don't just say, hey, do you work with external search firms? We have to take it further, and you'll have to take it further. So as an example, I'll say, here's why I'm reaching out. I see that you've got the following types of jobs available in the following markets. We've had a lot of success working with similar organizations such as XXX, whatever it might be, in placing these types of individuals. My firm specializes in the placement of high caliber veterans. Here's why I think we'd be a good fit for you. Let's see if we can set up a time to have a chat. I think you should take that approach in your job search. So you apply for a job. Are you going to LinkedIn and finding out who the recruiters are for that company, maybe in that market, or in that sector, or in that department with the company? Are you reaching out to them and saying, hey, I just applied for the following position. Here's why I think I'm a great fit. Love the opportunity to chat with you about my qualifications. Keep it short and sweet. But it's something as simple as that is going to separate you from the person who's applying and just sitting back. They're the people that say, I'm applying to hundreds of jobs and I'm not getting anywhere. Then you should probably stop applying to hundreds of jobs. So, in doing some of this basic stuff, what will be perceived as basic for some of you, I think you're going to find that, number one, you're going to get a better response, so you'll know where you stand. You're going to differentiate yourself from the average job seeker that's out there. And I think you're going to start to see more opportunities present themselves, because you're coming across as, number one, as informed, number two, serious, number three, someone that's done the research and the homework, and you're making the person on the other side job a little bit easier. So that's my advice for the day. And as always, if I can be of any assistance, I'm happy to jump in and then do whatever I can. I've got a message here from Kevin saying, he's reached out to recruiters from the company, and then I noticed they view my resume and ghost me. I'm not discounting that for 1 second, Kevin, but I think it's important to understand what you're perceiving as ghosting. In many cases, it's not that at all. The average position with a company, let's use Verizon as an example. I bet you the average position sees over 300 applications. And if a recruiter took the time to reach out to every person that applied and told them why they're not qualified or why they're not being considered, how many hours in the day can they do their actual job? So, it can feel that way. And I don't think because you've seen that they viewed your profile, that means they should interview you. But on the flip side of that, I think recruiters can do a better job of being more upfront. And what I mean by that is, don't tell a candidate you're hot and heavy for them and you think that they're a great fit and then ghost them. That's just not acceptable at all. If you've taken the time to interact, then the follow-up needs to go both ways. I think most of the recruiters I know are professional in that manner. But from a job seeker perspective, because you're wanting and you don't get what you want when you want it, that's very easy to kind of look outward instead of inward. It doesn't mean you're a bad candidate. It just means that the recruiter might not have the time. And if he's doing that for you, then he has to do it for the other 298 people that's not getting considered. And if that's a 5-minute interaction, well, do that 300 times and then tell me where the time is in the day. Almost every recruiter I know right now is being asked to do more than they've ever been asked to do before. And there's only so many hours in the day. So I'm not at all, Kevin, discounting your feelings there or what's happened to you. And but I think if you have a little bit better perspective on why that's sometimes happening, it may help you realize that sometimes it's not being ghosted. It's just a matter of, for whatever reason, they didn't see a quick match and moved on in another direction. Myron writes here, appreciate the advice. Thanks, Myron. I know we've worked together in the past. Love to work with you guys again. And Myron's a good example here. He just simply doesn't have the bandwidth. And it's what I was touching on. It's in a perfect world, we could call everyone and have a 15-minute conversation with them and tell them why they're not being considered. But I think that also goes back to how you're positioning yourself, right? If you're not getting anywhere because you've applied for a job, reach out to the HR manager, reach out to the recruiter, let them know you've applied. Why can't you do that? This whole, I'll stand over here and you stand over there, and when it's time to dance, we'll get together. Now, sometimes you got to walk over and ask the person to dance. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you really want to get that no or yes, then put yourself out there and ask for it. And an easy way to do that is to find out. I'll give you an example. I'm looking at the Verizon page right now. They've got several jobs available for business intelligence consultants. I'm not sure what that is. Data science and business intel it falls under. But if I applied for that job in their Baskin Ridge office, I'd find out who a recruiter is in that capacity, and I'd reach out to them and let them know I applied. If you're not doing that, then I don't know what more you can expect. Unless you're the ideal candidate for every position you apply for, and your resume just jumps off the page, you're just one of 300. Think of it that way. So what can you do to stand out as that 1 in 300? I guess is what I'm getting at. So hope this helps. I hope you all have a great weekend. Take a look at Verizon. I do work with Verizon. Their military recruitment team is second to none. They're great at follow-up. They do what they say they're going to do. There's a reason why they're on every list of best companies for veterans. And if you apply for anything, let me know, and I'll do whatever I can to help you get noticed. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday.